Hello vinyl community, Mike from Mike Guitar Player 07 here, coming at you live with another vinyl record video. And today I am doing a contest entry for Merrick over at the Vinyl Truffle, for his 200 subs contest. And he calls it the Someone Saved My Life Tonight contest. If you're interested in entering, you have until September 27th to get your entry in. You have to subscribe, and he would like you to show some proof through Instagram. And if you do, you get an extra entry. For making the video and doing the entry, you get 4 entries, and you'll get a 5th one if you send him a message on Instagram proving it. And the prize will be a $50 Amazon gift card, or you could get a gift package from Merrick. The winner gets to choose. So, without further ado, let's get to it. I want to try to make this not as be as quick as possible, because I could say a lot about all this stuff. But before I get started, I just have Merrick to thank for this album being in my collection, because when he entered my 300 subs contest, he mentioned this album, and I saw it, and I decided to pick it up. Haven't listened to it yet upon recording this, but I look forward to it, and Merrick, thank you for introducing that album to me. So, first question is to show 3 to 5 records that you garnished wisdom from, that helped you through a difficult time, or perhaps even changed your outlook on life. What lessons or truths or emotional support did you find in these albums or songs? I chose 3 for all of these. He says choose 3 to 5. I did 3 on all of them because there's a lot I could say about a bunch, and I didn't want this video to be 3 hours. So, the first one is a self-titled album from 2013 by the band Dream Theater. This is a CD. I just took the booklet out. Back cover. Now, lyrically, this is some of the most inspirational music that Dream Theater ever put out. And I'd like to share some of the lyrics to some of my favorite tunes on the album here. And let's just go with that. So, the first song I'm going to share some lyrics to is The Enemy Inside. And it goes like this. Over and over again, I relive the moment. I'm bearing the burden within. Open wounds hidden under my skin. Pain as real as a cut that bleeds. The face I see every time I try to sleep is staring at me crying. I'm running from the enemy inside, looking for me the life I left behind. These suffocating memories are etched upon my mind, and I can't escape from the enemy inside. Now you're probably looking at me saying, Mike, I thought you said these lyrics were inspirational. That kind of sounds kind of dark. And, well, I can understand. But pretty much, it's telling you that you're your own worst enemy. It's kind of what it's going down to. Stop beating yourself up so much. And that's kind of how that is going. And as you go further into the song, you hear that. The next tune I'll showcase is a tune called The Bigger Picture. Long before the colors start to bleed, I can see the painting come alive, clever like an angel in disguise, moving in and out of reach. If the candle lights this crooked path, like a lighthouse peering through the haze, I will find the river through the rain, and I'll reach the water's edge. Shed your light on me. Be my eyes when I can't see. Shed your light on me. Be my guide so I could see the bigger picture. You're struggling in life. You can't always necessarily do things on your own. Seek help and guidance where need be. The next tune I'm going to share from this album is called Behind the Veil. What would possess you to justify such dark and twisted ways? What kind of monster will come to the feast when the devil shows his face? What does it take for a life to change and a mind to lose control? Who will be left here to suffer and blame after all the lies you told? I am finding the courage in my darkest hour. I am bent, not broken, calling out. Someone save me, look behind the veil. Please don't walk away. Someone save me, bring me home tonight. I can't face another day. A lot of people might just walk by someone who looks like they're having a bad day and just continue off with what they're doing, not realizing how much that person really needs someone to talk to, no matter who it is. So look beyond whatever shield they might be holding. If they seem troubled, even though they're trying to be strong, like ask them if they're okay, kind of thing. The next tune I want to showcase is Along for the Ride. At this moment, words fail me, and my vision's unclear. Blind to the truth, like hands reaching out in the darkness. I can't stop the world from turning around, or the pull of the moon on the tide. But I don't believe that we're in this alone. I believe we're along for the ride. I believe we're along for the ride. Through the gift of surrender, I'm embracing the light. Breaking the code, there's clarity on the horizon. I can't stop the world from turning around, or the pull of the moon on the tide. I guess I'm not getting that line right today. But I don't believe that we're in this alone. I believe we're along for the ride. I believe we're along for the ride. So pretty much saying, we all have ups and downs in life. We're all in this thing called life together. Let's all just work everything out. And my personal favorite tune from the album, Illumination Theory, and I have a picture disc of this that came out for one of the record store days, but I forgot to pull it, so pardon me, but I guess it works for here too. Now this song is in 5 parts. First part is, the title's in French, so I can't even say it. And part 3 is also instrumental. So part 1 and 3 is all instrumental, but parts 2, 4, and 5 are vocally driven. So you get out of the section 1 of the song into part 2. Part 2 is called Live, Die, Kill. And pretty much the whole purpose of the song is, in life, what are you willing to live for? What are you living for? What are you willing to die for? How will you die? What are you doing? Like, and then third one is, what are you willing to do to kill? Or what are you doing? What are you willing to kill for? Like, so what are you willing to live for, die for, or kill for? What are you doing to be able to practically survive? What are you doing that makes you drive your certain life choices, and what are your motivations? Goes into the Embracing Circle, which is part 3 of all of Dream Theater's albums. This is the only one where you have like an orchestra or actual orchestra playing, and it's not a synthesized keyboard thing. And chills every time I hear that orchestral section. It's just beautiful. Then it comes in with a slap bass coming into part 4 called The Pursuit of Truth. And some of the lyrics go something among like this. Actually, all the lyrics I'm going to share for this one. Mothers for their children, husbands for their wives, martyrs for the kingdom, fighting for your life, a soldier for his country, a junkie for the high, teachers for their students, vengeance for a crime, rebels for their freedom, a tyrant for the praise, cowards for salvation, money, love, and fame. Noble and brave, we lay down our lives for the cause, death over shame, grace over glory. Then there's a short interlude between parts 4 and 5. Then it goes into Surrender, Trust, and Passion. And this is the song, this was the first song on the album that really had an impact on me. The other ones had it later, but this is the first one that really got me. And it's the first 2 lines of this. If I didn't mention it, part 5 is called Surrender, Trust, and Passion. The first 2 lines of this starts off with, to really feel the joy in life, you must suffer through the pain. I think that pretty much speaks for itself. You know, if you want to, just like in work, like you put in hard work to suffer through the pain, you'll get paid at the end of the day. The joy in life, for, I guess, an example. So, and that's kind of the opening to Illumination Theory. And I'll never forget, I was walking around my college campus one day after class, in between classes, because we had, or I had a long break in between classes, but I drove to college to save $10,000+ every semester. It was cheaper to put gas in my truck and drive an hour to college. And so I was just walking around campus one day, listening to this album for one of the first couple times. And I just sat down at one of the dorm buildings outside because there weren't a lot of traffic there, and I figured I won't be bothered by people and I could just enjoy my music and not be worried about people coming up to see me saying hello, whatever. Just wanted to be with my music. Well, those 2 opening lines of Illumination Theory, the 5th part, came on, and I just don't know what came over me. I just stood up from the table I was sitting at and power walked the rest of the way to my truck because I was doing a long maneuver, this, that, and the other thing to pass the time away, but I just power walked, like, felt like I was the coolest shit, just walked like nothing could stop me. I felt great. It just rejuvenated me. Next, this one you're going to think is a little nuts to be any sort of emotional support, but I'll explain. The South Park Christmas album, Mr. Hanky's Christmas Classics. I know, it's weird, but here's why. In college, the 3 of my college years, my grandfather had cancer before he ultimately passed away. It was during the time in college that my friends started showing me South Park. I knew what South Park was, but I didn't really watch it a whole lot until college, and thanks to my friends. So, the first year that my grandfather was diagnosed with his cancer, I didn't have any. It was the December before that, because he was diagnosed in mid-January with the cancer. It was the December before that I was introduced to all the Christmas specials from South Park. And I just have to add, in college, from November through January, many of my close college friends have nicknamed me Father Christmas during that time because of how passionate about Christmas I am and how festive I like to be, which really adds to the significance of this. So, this happens, and really all these songs I find humor in. South Park is a satire. It's not intended to offend people, even though I know it does. And really, of all the South Park music and all this stuff, the only thing that really bothers me on this album and of any South Park music that they've done, is a song on this called Dead, Dead, Dead. And it's pretty much talking about how someday you'll be dead, and you're during the holiday season and you're just thinking about death. And I don't know, I know there's the suicide rates and all this stuff go sky high during Christmas time, and because people have great sorrow and depression during this time for varying reasons, and maybe they were going on for a satire around that or something, I don't know. I don't really feel sorrow during Christmas time. I generally am quite happy, hence why my friends have nicknamed me Father Christmas. However, the year I got this was the year that my grandfather was diagnosed with cancer terminally, and it was during his final months living. I always skipped over that Dead, Dead, Dead tune anyway because I hated it. I hate it. There's not many songs I could say that about, but I don't like that. Well, it's now hitting home on a personal level, which didn't help either. So that always kind of put me down on that album when I didn't skip it for whatever reason. But the rest of the album is happy-go-lucky. I'm not going to even name song titles because I don't want to potentially offend people or give people the wrong idea. But it's just joking and kookiness, and as I said, a bunch of satire. The following holiday season after my grandfather's death, I had no motivation to do anything in regards to Christmas. Listen to Christmas music. Decorate anything. My friends were like, what is going on with Father Christmas? Like, they're like, is Mike okay? Like, I know he's... And I don't think they initially put together the 2 and 2 with my grandfather's stuff, partly being the lack of motivation. And even at that time, I wasn't sure what it was, but I think it comes down to that. But of all the albums, of the festive albums I was willing to listen to, it was this. Skipping Dead, Dead, Dead. Now, it was to the point where my friends were saying that we're coming over to your house Black Friday, and after we're done shopping, we're coming over to your house and we're helping you decorate. And these are coming from people who are obviously supportive of me, but couldn't care less about the decorations and all that. They're like, Mike, we're coming over, we're decorating the house with you. So this kind of album thanks to my friends for showing me the South Park music and also playing it while getting it back in the festive spirit. Kind of got me with that one. And finally, No One Will Ever Know by Gene Watson. You guys have heard me talk about this album countless times. The song We Robbed Trains is my favorite tune of all time. This song, for those who don't know, in brief, is pretty much about a grandchild and a grandparent. The grandchild is listening to the grandparent's story from a young age. Verse 1. Verse 2, the grandchild is older, doesn't know how much they trust the stories or if it's make-believe, but to quote the song literally, respect makes him listen to an old man's refrain. And in the third verse, the grandparent dies. Now, that was a song that my grandfather told me to check out first on this album. And Gene Watson was my grandfather's favorite artist of all time. And he told me to check out that song first. And it was almost that with his cancer and all this stuff, he was telling me that he had this bond with me and all this stuff. And was trying to show his love and all this stuff. And he might not have even intentionally did it, but that's how I got it. What I got out of it. Well, anyway. This is the most important record in my collection because of all that. Of his collection. And one of the most important records in my collection, period. So, nowadays, when I listen to this album, rather than for the times where I'm feeling fine and I have good joys, but if I'm really depressed about or thinking about him or missing him extra more than usual or something like that, and especially during his birthday and his death day, this is played at least once, this album, or has been since his passing. This album just makes me feel closer to him, or as close as I guess I can get, without being at the physical grave site, which even then, technically, I think is 6 feet in the ground. But emotionally and spiritually, that. All right, let's get a little bit more on a little bit of a lighter note. Game changers. Name and discuss 30-some albums that sent you into uncharted territory because they blew your mind. Records that pushed genre envelope, meshed multiple genres. These are albums that you would recommend in hopes that you had turned someone onto a new world. Now, I don't know how much these would necessarily be starting points for me to share for people, but I know they were for me. And if they're good enough for me, I guess they're good enough for others, but I don't know if I would necessarily give these ones for people. But anyway, first one would be Bjork. This is my favorite album by her, Homogenic, came out in 97 if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Introduced me to the world of avant-garde music. And not avant-garde in regards to Yoko Ono screaming stuff, but avant-garde, very unique instrumentations and vocal styles that I hadn't heard. Elements of electronic, jazz, synth pop kind of stuff, very heavy electronic stuff at time, and especially in her later discography, but it made me venture out into the world a little bit, because even though I'm Beatles completist, I don't think I would ever possibly pulled or checked out this album or the other two by the Wedding album by John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Probably would have never checked out or been as willing to check out, because it's pretty much just talking and yelling in this album, quite frankly. Cool packaging, especially for this album. Haven't seen a copy of Two Virgins or Unfinished Music Volume 2, but yeah, kind of opened my ears to be willing to listen to things a little bit more unique and untraditional. Next would be a band that I pulled out 3 things from, and that would be the band Yes. Now, my dad owned the, excuse me, talking a long time gives you some dry throat, I guess. My dad had 90125 on CD as a kid. My mom had Fragile on vinyl record as a kid. And I wanted to hear more Yes, and I guess I was using Pandora or something at that time when I was exploring more music, and I enjoyed a song or two off Going for the One, so I asked for this, Going for the One. Yes introduced me to the realm of prog rock. Well, I enjoyed that so much that for my birthday in 2014, however old I was turning for that, I asked for two things: this Yes box set and an iPod Classic. And full disclosure, this version of Going for the One with all the bonus tracks, same version that you get in this box set, but I'm not getting rid of that one. But this has Yes's debut through Big Generator. As I said, it opened my world up to prog rock a little bit more. Later on, one of my friend's dads would introduce me to things like Steely Dan and Jethro Tull. But I ended up exploring on my own, in part because I was curious of the prog rockness, as well as the high esteem this album gets, but King Crimson, In Court of the Crimson King. One of the coolest album covers, definitely one of the coolest gatefolds, and that's how that went down for me. And then, of course, we all know how much I love Dream Theater nowadays. Next. The next genre would be rap and Snoop Dogg. This is not the album one would think that would introduce you to a genre of rap, but it is. Snoop Dogg's Malice in Wonderland. This is his 2009 album. This is easily one of my top 3 most played rap albums. Early high school is when I discovered rap. In middle school, people were listening to like Khalees and Insane Clown Posse and whatever other popular rap was, not the older stuff, but was popular at that time. But I don't know, something made me want to check out Snoop Dogg, and I did. And this was the newest album at the time. Some of the highlights for me is I Wanna Rock, Pronto, Pimpin' Ain't Easy, probably my favorites off this album. But this was the very first rap album I owned and I listened to. And then I started delving a little bit deeper, but really didn't get too deep into it until fall of 2019 is really when I started delving deep in rap. But I started getting into Eminem. Eminem is my favorite rapper. Many would say I'm wrong for that, but I don't care. That's my opinion, and I like Eminem, and I like his lyrics quite a bit. And yeah, Eminem is where I started next after that, after things like Snap Your Fingers and some random hits and popular things here and there. But yeah, Snoop Dogg's Malice in Wonderland is what started that. And then part 3 is exude positivity. Share 3 songs or albums that have a very positive message. Now, all 3 of these, I had to print out the lyrics for these because they were so freaking small in the booklets. But first, in the realm of Eminem, I'm going to his Recovery album, and I'm going to be talking about the tune Not Afraid. Finding a copy of this on CD in good condition was very difficult for the longest time. I don't know why, but Not Afraid, and this is one of the top 3 most played rap albums for me too, by the way, next to Malice in Wonderland. Actually, these 3 albums are my most played studio rap albums. My most played comp album, rap-wise, would be The Curtain Call by Eminem. But yeah, so Recovery. Song Not Afraid. And let's give you some lyrics here. That's not the words to Eminem's. Here we go. I was going to say that looks like a different song I'm going to be showing positivity for. Haha. So, here we go. You could try to read the I guess I can't read. You can try and read my lyrics off this paper before I lay 'em, but you won't take the sting out these words before I say 'em, 'cause ain't no way I'm gonna let you stop me from causing mayhem when I say 'em. I'm gonna do something to do it. I don't give a damn what you think. I'm doing this for me, so fuck the world, feed it beans. It's gassed up. If it thinks it's stopping me, I'm gonna be what I'm set out to be without a doubt, undoubtedly. And for all those who look down on me, I'm tearing down your balcony. No ifs, ands, or buts. Don't try to ask him why or how he can be. From infinite to relapse. From infinite down to the last relapse album. He's still shitting whether he's on a salary paid hourly until he bows out or he shits his bowels out of him. Whichever comes first, for better or worse. He's married to the game, like you. Like a fuck you for Christmas, this gift is a curse. Forget the earth. He's got the urge to pull the stick from the dirt and fuck the whole universe. Now, pardon the colorful language, but that's Eminem for you. And then the chorus goes off to, I'm not afraid to take a stand. Everybody, take my hand. We'll walk this road together through the storm, whatever weather, cold or warm. Just letting you know now that you're not alone. Holler if you feel like you've been down the same road. And pretty much saying who cares what other people are thinking or saying. Live life the way you want to. Make yourself happy. Of course, you got to make your bosses and work and all that stuff happy, but he's pretty much saying, who cares what other people think? Don't be afraid to live life. Don't live in fear. The next tune, which was the first choice and first thought for me immediately, was All You Need Is Love from Magical Mystery Tour, and the other Beatles tune that came to mind was The End from Abbey Road, but I'm going with All You Need Is Love. And I'm sure we all know these lyrics already, but they say love a million 3 times in the intro, but then it goes into, there's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love, bum ba da ba dum. All you need is love, and you know how the chorus goes. So just figure yourself out, embrace it, and do things in life with love. Just share love, spread love, embrace love, receive love. Pretty much saying, in a similar way, the enemy inside, you're only stopping yourself. Do what you got to do. Then the final tune would be Heal the World from Michael Jackson's 1991 album Dangerous. And this song opens up with a child literally saying this. Think about the generations, and they say we want to make it better, a place for our children and our children's children, so that they say they know it's a better world for them and think they can make it a better place. A little kid says that, by the way, in the song. So, and then it goes into the real meat and potatoes of the tune. There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love, and this place could be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are always ways to get there. If you care enough for the living, make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me, and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and me. Very similar vibes to his tune Man in the Mirror. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change, quite frankly. If you want to know why there's a love that cannot lie, love is strong. It only cares for joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel. Fear or dread, we stop existing and start living. Pretty much the whole thing is just love each other. Just embrace each other for whatever we have, our differences, our similarities. Just be nice to each other. So, that's 3 songs about positivity. So, thank you, Merrick, for this contest. I hope you've enjoyed. Hope I didn't, with the lessons and all that on part 1, hopefully I didn't ramble and make no sense at all. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm appreciative for each and every single one of you, and I'll see you in the next video.